artery to get from the top of the hill onto the freeway as it stands right now. And I have 3 little kids, and I'm already nervous about them riding their bike or walking out there without me being with them, and I see a lot of people driving very fast. I think this gives us a priceless opportunity, if you're going to have these dense nodes around the trolley stations, to maybe also shift the vehicle traffic more towards West Marina and allow for more of these better parking, better bike lanes, whatever on I'll call it East Marina. But it's not that big of a distance, and this is fortunately a small amount of space to work with. And my final point is, this doesn't have to end up looking like something in Mission Valley where it's just kind of like there's no design to it, it's just kind of cracker box condos with the same chain stores on the bottom. If we keep pressure on the planning process, you can get some San Francisco style creative looking buildings that would be a credit and actually improve this neighborhood. I don't think anybody could disagree with me when I say that Bay Park could use some sprucing up in a lot of areas. So, thank you for your time.
Hi, my name is Laura Tantama. I live on Sparks Avenue, not far from Gardena. I do agree about the sidewalks on Knoxville, sidewalks in general, on a lot of the streets, Gardena Avenue being one of them as well. I've been in this neighborhood for 3.5 years. I grew up on Sunset Cliffs, where people love their views, and I'm glad about the 30-foot limit. My parents were a part of that in the 1970s, getting the coastal limit, so we don't look like Miami Beach, and that's great. Some of my points, one of the things that I love about living here and why I chose to buy a home in this area is that it takes 5 minutes or less to get to the freeway, as opposed to Point Loma, Ocean Beach, where you have to add on 15 minutes just to get onto an on-ramp. So better flow with the development that is impending and that is coming and the density that is coming. I just would like the traffic and accessibility to the freeways to be really well thought out. We talked about Mission Valley. They've been working on Friars Road and widening that before all those big buildings came up, and so I would like to see that planning with the roads, accessibility, bike paths, walkability, parking. Our businesses are great. One of the reasons that I knew about this neighborhood is because of the High Dive. Honestly, it brings a lot of younger people to this neighborhood, and then they grow up and want to buy homes, and this is where they look, and this is a great place. So making our businesses that are already here and bringing new businesses here and making them accessible, I think is great. And I thank all the volunteers, and thank you guys for being here.
Hi, I'm Peg Lee, resident of Bay Park. You asked for one of our concerns, and one of my concerns was not mentioned, is the trolley noise. We hear the train, we hear it blow the whistle at 12:30 in the morning, 3:30, and a few other times. I don't always look at my clock, but I live probably at least a mile or so from the train, and I hear the trolley all morning long if I happen to have my windows open, which I like to have all summer long. The next thing is you asked what we would like. Underground utilities, we've been promised those for a long time. I think we need our sewer upgraded, especially if you're planning on adding businesses and residences. I'd also like you to consider all of Claremont when you consider the amount of development. Not just Bay Park, but consider all the way up through Claremont. We are one community, and therefore the residences and all of the density should be considered at that when determining whether something should be accepted or not accepted. There will be extra residents bringing cars, people bringing cars for the trolley, therefore there will be added traffic. Traffic could cause the accidents that we're talking about for bicycles, pedestrians, and just us getting in and out of our own personal community. A personal request would be that Milton be perhaps slower. Children go to and across Milton, go to and from their schools and their playmates. And right now people are speeding down Milton, and will be even more so trying to get to the trolley. And my last comment is I ditto Fran regarding especially the uniqueness of our community and the desire for open space. Thank you.
I want to second everything that Peg said, everything that Fran said, and half of what Harry said. I'm George Hetherington. I'm a 70-year resident of Bay Park, across the street over here. My son is also a resident homeowner as well, right here in Bay Park. And all of us attended this school from kindergarten on. My issue is the mobility. Density is not only here already, it will increase the population of the world, the qualities that make San Diego, and particularly Bay Park, to me, a desirable place to live and work and play, are going to attract more and more people. That's inevitable. I love the idea of the trolley, but we need to restore a communication between Claremont Drive and Marina Boulevard. We need to put it back the way it was when Claremont Drive was built, when this was one of the most beautiful canyons in San Diego, and this huge boulevard came down the hill. There was a sweeping turn into Marina Boulevard. The freeway was a distant dream, and the freeway, of course, cut all that off. We need the people to stand up and to demand that we don't have this safety problem right behind me, right out this door, right where the school kids are coming to this school, to have this influx from Claremont Drive and Marina and the jogging through the neighborhood. It's atrocious. That's the opposite of city planning. And so that's my issue, is mobility and safety and architectural creativity that gives us the community here that expresses our uniqueness. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Gene Harrell, 35 years in Bay Park. I will the rest of my time to Fran.
I left off at senior playgrounds. They are all over 4 continents and becoming a worldwide trend. There is much talk about the year 2030 and providing housing for a growing population. But what about addressing the growing population of senior citizens? They numbered 12.4% of the population in the year 2000, but will grow to be 20% of the population by 2030. Why not have the first senior playground in San Diego, here in Bay Park? I'd like to see a pedestrian, bicycle-only bridge path that links Bay Park to Mission Bay Park. Bay Park's core identity to its namesake, Mission Bay Park, must be maintained. It is our history. The visual and natural connection to Mission Bay that brings bay breezes, a coastal climate, and water vistas cannot be compromised with overbuilding Marina Boulevard no matter what. Our community is highly visible to everyone who visits our city. Folks who drive Marina Boulevard, Interstate 5, north and south, and Mission Bay visitors, residents, and tourists alike. Locking up our community, blocking it with high-density buildings would be an ugly disgrace to our city and a slap in the face to all who live here. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tom Solowanchek, and I've been in the Bay Park area for about 30 years. I want to thank all of you for volunteering your time. And this is great to see the crowd. This is wonderful to get the community involved in this effort. And just a couple things I wanted to say before I get into the spiel is, we were successful with the no 60 feet. Now it's time to be successful with the model community. And I took a segment off of the Raise the Balloon website to kind of pull my thoughts together. Balance the model community. The key to a model community is balance between the 10 general plan goals. We want to become a model community for all of San Diego County. The city's push to update and amend our local community plans is our opportunity to do so. A model community is one which all of the goals of the general plan, and hence our local community plans, are given equal implementation in a balanced approach to development of a complete community. Guiding principles of the San Diego's regional and general plans form the basis of a model community's development. 10 elements have been created from these guiding principles. Both plans rely on our local community plans to provide the site-specific guidance that will lead to the implementation of the guiding principles, policies, and elements, and the continued involvement of an engaged citizens to monitor its implementation. A balanced approach prevents the implementation of a single goal to the exclusion of equally important ones. Only one segment of the community benefits from a single goal that dominates over the others. For example, only developers benefit when green building practices or recreational green space is sacrificed in the name of higher density. Thank you.
So my name is Amanda Dahlgren, and we just bought our house very, very recently, and there were two things that we were really concerned about. One was the 60-foot limit, and when we heard that that was not being changed, that it was going to be 30, then we said, okay, this is okay. So thank you for everybody who worked on that. And the other thing was the trolley, that the trolley was coming. I mean, that's really important to us. I guess we're, I don't know, bus people or trolley people. I don't know if that's a compliment to us or not, I don't know, but just, not having to drive everywhere I think is really important. And Fran kind of stole my thunder, but the idea that you could actually safely ride your bike with your kid and not have to try to cross on Claremont Drive or on Teclode would be incredible. To try to get to Mission Bay Park on a, pedestrian-only, bike-only overpass would be incredible. So I don't know if that's something that is possible. Is that something you're considering?
We can evaluate that as part of this effort. I can't make any promises of that, but we will certainly evaluate improved pedestrian and bicycle connections from Bay Park to Mission Bay.
Hi all, and thank you for being here. This is what makes change happen, right here. My name is Cindy Pellet. I live on Tokelon Street. My mom and dad, Gwen and Frank Hunter, built in 1959 when they pointed down at that marsh and said, that's going to be developed someday and we want a view. So I'm a long-term resident, and the two concerns that I bring are, one, the fact that the trolley is transit-oriented development, what the planners call, in a very nice package. You've heard there's no free lunch. Well, there's no free trolley either. And we have to keep our eye on those variances because it will go above 30 feet and it will get dense. Yep. Okay? Yes, we're going to grow. We're supposed to grow because guess what? We're gorgeous. We know that. We're a little long in the tooth, but we know this is a beautiful community. But we are going to have to watch very, very closely because transit-oriented development is still very high on the minds of our city planners. That having been said, if you saw the article in the LA Times a couple of weeks ago, transit-oriented development has been responsible for a huge increase in pedestrian deaths in Los Angeles in their older communities. And the reason is because those older communities have not upgraded their cityscape, but they have increased their density with the development. And that makes it very hard for an older person with a walker or a younger person who's pushing a stroller to get across the street. So we need to definitely upgrade our streets to match the number of pedestrians. And if you're going to ride a trolley, you're not driving your car to the trolley. Hello? You're walking or you're riding a bike. You're more than likely trying to ditch your car. And that's why we need to look at our cityscapes.
Hi, I'm Jim Elko. I'm standing over a bug, so please excuse my voice. I've been a member of the community since '92. And we all know San Diego is a beautiful place to live, and in particular, Bay Park is unique. And over the last 25 years or so, I've been a member of architectural groups. And just recently, James and I met with one of San Diego's prominent architects, Frank Walden. He did Ford Plaza, Gaslamp District, Petco Park, Del Mar Plaza. The list is a very long list. but he's also very interested in hearing what we have to say. And the important thing is, some of the takeaways after our meeting, or during our meeting were that we need to come up with ideas that excite us. So rather than saying what we don't want, we need to come up with ideas of what we do want. That being said, I'm very familiar with the New School of Architecture downtown. They've been around for 25 plus years. I've spoken to them at various levels, the highest levels, and one of the takeaways was that Frank suggested we get our master's students involved in this area. As a project, they would do their thesis on Bay Park. On that note, he said he wanted to know how big our treasury was, and we know it's not big. So I'm just, I've got so many things to say. If you want to talk to me afterwards, that's fine. But we do also have to respect all stakeholders, not just us as a resident, but also developers. They're not all bad people, et cetera, et cetera. So architects and so forth. There are wonderful ideas going in downtown in East Village, so we don't need to reinvent the wheel. And James probably has some other comments too. Thank you.
Evening, I'm James Hetherington. I've lived here all my life with my father before me. And I find it interesting that we get more and more of this discussion of cycling through San Diego because there's a number of things about it. One thing, the traffic on Hilton increased a lot once they collapsed the lanes on Claremont Drive to be fewer. And largely I see that being used for parking and not cycling. Quite often I've taken this up with other members of the cycling community, asking what it is with pushing for more cycling on Marina Boulevard anyway, since you have the bay there for all that riding, which a lot of people actually ride at night on TV and around. I myself take that route to go all the way downtown and back, so providing more cycling on Marina doesn't really seem necessary. Now I walk my 6-pound dog all the way around, and she never really gets frightened because they have extremely wide sidewalks all along here. And part of the problem I see too is that when you ask them about Friars Road, where you have a dedicated bike lane, they are not often riding it. And their complaint is that it's not maintained. Given San Diego's record of maintaining roads, how can we count on this being maintained any better after we lose the ability to drive on it if they collapse the lanes and such? To that effect, getting over the bay is again a problem, as noted many times before. In looking at, sending my wife on a bicycle to her job at UCSD, it's a problem because there's really no connection to Santa Fe Drive, which is where a lot of the cycling is really free of traffic. It connects all the way up to Gilman and La Jolla. I don't see any good map of cycling or a real plan, especially when it seems like you get a lot of guys that might mock you because they're looking for the best route.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Jeff. I've lived in Bay Park for almost 3 years now, and thank you to everyone for all of your time and commitment to this. It's very important. I consider myself an ambassador of the community because I am actually a realtor in this neighborhood as well. I focus my efforts here, and I spent a lot of time working with both buyers and sellers that pose a lot of questions about everything that we're talking about today. And I think that putting the right message out there is crucial. But to echo some of the sentiments that people have said, I think it's more about the future, not so much as today. We have an opportunity to create a great experience for not only ourselves, but people that want to come and enjoy the bay and the neighborhood and riding bikes and Mission Bay. When you look at places like Windansea or Little Italy, it's a great economic impact. And I think that we just need to take a closer look at the future as opposed to our personal opinions.
Hello,
I'm Derek, and I do ride a bicycle in the Bay Park. I tow a trailer with a child in it, and there's no way to get from our community to Mission Bay. I also ride down Santa Fe Street. I've gotten honked at while I'm egressing Marina Boulevard onto Balboa in the middle lane of traffic because they think I should just always be in the right, even though I have to be in the second lane so I can get onto Santa Fe Street. The same situation exists. We have 3 lanes going down to the visitor center, which isn't even being used anymore. Those 3 lanes have very few cars in them because you don't need 3 lanes to turn left. Okay, there's no room to ride a bicycle with cars going 50 miles an hour down Claremont Drive. And I have to merge so I can get to Mission Bay Park. Exiting the neighborhood, trying to get from Tecolote onto SeaWorld Drive. There's no stop sign, there's no yield. We need to slow the cars down so I can also get over to the right-hand side to get to Fiesta Island with my trailer. So all we needed is, I don't need a $500,000 bridge. I need lanes wide enough to ride in, make the lanes wider, maybe get rid of the 3 lanes going down Claremont Drive, put in a push button that'll stop the car so I can cross to get to Fiesta Island, because a lot of cars don't even let me merge, even with the kid in tow in the back. They're still going 50 miles around an hour down that turn. So that's all I request to get out of this neighborhood. And also, I hate parking that's angled in because cars can't see if that's being done on Marina Boulevard. They can't see the cyclists.
Hi, I'm Shelley Martin. I've lived here for 57 years, off and on. My dad built the house right across the street from the school when it was, Mission Bay was Tideland. So I've been here for a little bit and I've seen a lot of stuff. The big thing that I don't like is what they did to Claremont. Just this morning, or this afternoon, I was up off of Galveston, the next one up by the Hartford, by the church, and there was a lady in front of me, and the traffic was going, and the traffic was going, and the traffic was going, and there was no stop to it. And she literally did a U-turn in front of a white truck coming up to go back down to go someplace else. And I thought, my God, she's gonna get somebody. I'd like to see that back to where it was. Yes. Because that's crazy. There's nothing, once you get up on that road, it's just constant. You get the traffic going up, and then you have the traffic coming in this way, the traffic going that way, and once you get up there, you're stuck half the time. You sit there for 15 minutes waiting for the traffic to stop. Marina Boulevard, it's fast. And I don't know how you're gonna slow people down. I live up here, this 4-way stop, it's not a 4-way stop. It's not even a yield. Every morning, if you sit out there before school starts, right now, they blow through that. They blow through every one of these stop signs, and I've seen it. I mean, my roommate almost got hit right down here. I almost got hit right down here on my motorcycle. It's scary. We're gonna have to figure out if we need to have more cops in the area, or, I don't know, throwing water balloons at the people that don't stop. I have no idea. But they do go about 40 miles an hour down Erie Street.
Hi, my name's Bruce. I decided to come up here to talk to you guys for my 2 minutes because maybe my story is different than everybody else's. I don't live here. I don't. I've lived in North Park, I've lived on Friars, I've lived in Mission Valley, okay? About a year ago, I started working in this area, okay? I started working with a friend out of her house, and I was like, wow, this is the only place in San Diego that a human being can actually sustainably live. This is the only place that we can still come and enjoy and look around, have our quaint area, have what people need to survive. You guys, my question is, where's the data? Where's the rats in the cage? It's not just people getting run over at trolley stops. It's the fact that we're gonna build condos that you guys expect us to buy and live in for the rest of our lives to influx density? No way. I'm gonna maybe buy a condo and hopefully look at it, look out of it, steal your view. Like, I don't understand where Resi Mix and then coupling it with trolley stations, which are supposed to be transit friendly. How am I gonna get there? I'm gonna ride a boat from the west, I might bike from the north, I may come down from the east, but I'm not walking back up there, you guys. I'm a millennial, I'm lazy, I expect better. Okay? My point is, you guys, they're giving us something, the trolley's gonna go to USC, I'm a veteran, it's gonna stop at the VA. Will I ride it? Absolutely. It's gonna stop at the mall. It's eventually gonna loop back around to SDSU. But does that service the people that are gonna ride it? Not if we have to walk down the hill or jump on a stinky bus. Have you guys seen the proposed bus schedule? You think you like it around here? Wait till that bus comes by every 15 minutes so that I can ride the trolley from where? Downtown? If I live downtown, I work downtown. From up north, the mall? Nope. Sorry, we need more. We need to really look at where you guys expect us to live, how we're gonna stack it in here, and what it's gonna cost us.
Hello, my name is Al Lee. I'd like the commission to also give some thought when they're doing their planning to what's going on across the north of the bay. It's going to replace where all those trailers are. You're going to get a lot of traffic, you're going to get a lot of things from there. And when you're figuring out what the traffic is, you better add that, because I think it's going to be very substantial, a lot more than we have right now with those trailers. With this. And nobody seems to be talking about it. I'm sorry. Another person commented about Little Italy. I don't want Little Italy here. When the people who live in Little Italy tell me that they can't park their car, they can't get around, they can't get out to the street, let's assume we had a Little Italy kind of a thing over here. You've got a bunch of commercial things that everybody likes the places and so forth. How the hell do they get in and out? The only way that you can get in and out of the Bay Park right now is either Milton or Ilion. And if you couldn't get through on Milton, if it's all going to be commercial down there, Ilion is a mess right now, and it's so narrow that you really couldn't transit down there, and especially not if it becomes a Little Italy down below. How are you going to get in and out, and where are you going to get all these permits for water and for sewer? There aren't any. Supposedly we're in a drought where shouldn't be given water permits. Another thing I want to point out is all these places down below that you're talking about what you're going to do with them, they're not owned by you, they're owned by individuals. And they're to determine what they do. They're to determine whether if they have a place down there that they have a motel and you don't like it, what are you going to do? Condemn it and say, I like my idea better? What are you going to do about that? Those people have their properties and they're going to do what they want to do with them. And then I think in summary, I don't really want all the proposals that you're talking about. I don't want architectural committees to come here and do studies and do all these things. I think really what I would like is for people who own businesses, when they think that there's enough growth or enough traffic or whatever they think, that when they think it's ready, let them do what they want to do.
Hi. My name is Jeff Johnson. I live here on Erie Street. I'm a relatively new resident compared to most people who've gotten up here because I've only been here for 18 years. I'm going to echo some of the things people said earlier. Sidewalks are great because when I walk my 4-year-old daughter down to Cecil's, it's like walking her through a pinball machine. And you see it a lot. When, Bay Park residents, when you're walking around the streets, you see everybody's out in the middle of the street with their kid, with a bicycle, families walking hand in hand across, a good half of the width of it's supposed to be there for cars. We don't even have sidewalks. You're talking about all these great plans for what's going to happen with Marina Boulevard and the trolley and the stations. We have overhead utilities. We've got no sidewalks. We'd like to hear some of that addressed on the front end instead of a promise that we may get that stuff after you build the hamster cages and everything else on Marina Boulevard. One question I specifically have for you, compared to when this controversy started, when they were talking about 60-foot and very high density, and we made our voices heard, and now you have a different message, and that sounds nice. How does SB 375, which is state law, and those zoning mandates not trump what you're telling us now. If he's walking over here to answer my question, I can put the yellow thing down.
Sure. SB 375, excuse me, looks at, does a region have enough housing ability to meet its future demands, rather than simply saying we're going to provide jobs and expect people to live in Riverside County. So Sandig is doing that as part of their sustainable growth strategy, is to look within the region to see not only the city of San Diego, but all of the other 17 cities in the county have enough available housing supply. So as part of the sustainable strategy is to look at, if we're going to allow for growth to happen, that we avoid it in the backcountry, we avoid it in open space areas, and how can we do it in a sustainable manner? And part of that is to look at areas near future transit. So what somebody mentioned was important about balance. And so part of the general plan is also looking at community identity. It's looking at, can we provide additional housing, but do it in a way that's supports our communities, supports the community's vision, and it's not something that's inconsistent with the character. It's by no means saying that the city of San Diego has to force density in certain areas. What we want to do is work with communities to identify those areas and do it respectfully. So as I said in the beginning of this, at the end of the process,